Welcome to week 6 of INA 4300 here in Angeloe State. As I'm starting, I just want to talk about the Colorado Springs attack. As many of you know, probably know by now, that there was a shooting at a LGBT club in Colorado Springs. 5 people were killed as of Sunday night, with I think a dozen wounded. Again, we're still getting information on this, so this could be a little bit dated, but again, it looks like it was a hate crime by someone that had a history of violent activity. And again, how this relates to this class is, we're talking about DHS, we're talking about local security and counterterrorism, but there's always going to be a problem, particularly of U.S. citizens that are on the radar of law enforcement for one reason or another. They might be radicalized, they might show indications of radicalized behavior, they might have engaged in violent activity in the past. So they might have this, but there's only so much we can do. We can have the best DHS, the best information sharing, but if the guy's a U.S. citizen and he hasn't committed a crime, then we can't detain them, we can't arrest them, we can't institutionalize them if they have a mental illness. So this is always going to be an issue coming up. And maybe it's just, I hate to say this, but in a country that is a free country that in some ways fetishizes guns, something like this is almost always just going to happen. Maybe we should just get used to it, or maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. But there's only so much the national security state or local officials can do to stop something like that. So just keep in mind whether we're talking about, again, hate crime here, but next week it's going to be right-wing extremism or Islamic extremism, what we can actually do, particularly if it's a U.S. citizen. So the paper, everyone has their paper back. Again, some people did well, some people need improvement. The where people got points off is they didn't have a thesis. A lot of you told a history of 9/11 or a history of DHS. It's not what I want. I got the history. I know the organizations are DHS. I want you to assess the effectiveness of DHS. Make an argument that says that it's effective, or as effective as it can be, or it's not effective, or it's effective against a 9/11-like threat, but it's not good against these radicalized threats. That's what I want. I want a thesis. And again, a history of DHS is not enough. And this is what I'm looking for. Evaluate the effectiveness. When you do your final paper, evaluate whether the national security states that we talked about would be effective in stopping whatever attack you choose. So that's the key point I want you to take away from the paper. So week 5, I'm not going to go too much into this. I think everyone hit the high points. Bottom line, as I just discussed, the Terrorist Threat Integration Center, that's an intelligence apparatus. Sometimes it's harder to monitor U.S. citizens. So again, we're talking about the 9/11 threat, sure. Foreign-based terrorists that try and come into our country, yes, it might be better to have these through intelligence channels and through foreign intelligence channels. But when we're looking at what we're looking at now, homegrown radicalized individuals, U.S. citizens, that the intelligence community has a limitation on, for good reason, this may become an issue. And then oftentimes, again, the information that should be doing this is already located in DHS, immigration records, watch listing records, terrorist travel, or PNR data, personal record data from travel. That's located within DHS itself. So there's no reason why that data can be kept DHS and then integrated vertically from federal to state to local officials, which we will talk about this coming week. So week 6, FBI integration. I'm going to send a documentary on Ruby Ridge. In fact, I'll post it down here so you can see it. And then another documentary on the DHS fusion centers, which will be the topic of your discussion questions this week. So good week up ahead. If there's any questions or issues, please let me know.